Hello and welcome to Vecna Universal Mastery. So the NFL is starting in this September, and we know that Tim Tony Stark Rifat loves to control sport. That's why we have rulesport.com, where we control the professional leagues and create mayhem like screwing over Manchester United and Cristiano Ronaldo. If you follow Tim Tony Stark Rifat's or Lord Vecna's sporting activities throughout the years, you'll know that he's been screwing over the NFL year after year. Just look at America's team, the Dallas Cowboys, and how awful they are. And Jerry Jones looks like he's been punched out the airlock on Mars with Arnold Schwarzenegger in Total Recall. NFL in particular has been subject to many enjoyable manipulations over the years, including Super Bowl 49, where the Seattle Seahawks' Russell Wilson throws the ball to a rookie in the fourth quarter at a critical moment, which is intercepted instead of using his veteran star to run the ball in for a touchdown. This leads to Seattle losing and the New England Patriots winning. And then you have Super Bowl 51, where the Atlanta Falcons had a huge lead going into halftime. It was a foregone conclusion that the Atlanta Falcons were going to win. Just look at the expression on the owner's face, with him and his wife thinking, yep, we've done it. Absolutely impossible that New England could come back. But in fact, New England did come back, scoring touchdowns and field goals and points after points, while the Atlanta Falcons could barely put any points on the board. Therefore, New England won. In a complete shock surprise victory. So you can see the energy being controlled in that game between the first quarter and the second quarter, moving energy from one team to the other. And also, most recently, you have the Los Angeles Rams beating the Cincinnati Bengals, which was orchestrated over the course of the season to put a weak team and a inexperienced team in front of the LA Rams, who would have this opportunity to play the Super Bowl at home. And of course, we used the LA Rams for the Rams horns, which we use in our Twisted Grail State rituals on every single Sunday, so we can link into that. And in addition, we have the Wicker Man Woman, which is Matthew Stafford's wife Kelly, who's been debilitated by cancer over the years. And what we've been doing throughout the years is draining her to drain the Super Bowl team and to drain the NFL, but also by draining the number one quarterback for that season's wife, or his queen, so to speak, we can bleed off all the energy of the Elohim, which are using sport to combat the Psi-Lord. So we can drag the Elohim into Omega Hell, and the Elohim require imprisonment because they're constantly screwing over the world. But now Tim Tony Stark Rifat is taking care of the problem by imprisoning the Elohim in Omega Hell for all eternity. And the NFL Super Bowl, where the LA Rams won, was a key part of this whole process. So now it looks like the NFL is recognizing the power of Lord Vecna, the Psi-Lord, Tim Tony Stark Rifat. We know they know about the Psi-Lord because so many NFL billionaire owners have stakes in the Premier League, as well as the NFL. So with teams being destroyed like Manchester United and Liverpool and the Dallas Cowboys at the cost of billions of dollars to the teams and franchise, and of course, don't forget that Stan Kroenke is the CEO of the LA Rams and owner of the LA Rams, but he's also the owner of Arsenal here in the Premier League in London. So this brings us to the point of our presentation here of why are we talking about the Lord Vecna, the Psi-Lord Tim Tony Stark Rifat, here in the context of NFL football. Well, now we get to this point, because there was a piece in the morning show called Good Morning Football Show, which recognized the magnificence of the Psi-Lord, who is Lord Vecna. Even more surprising is that the release of Stranger Things Series 4 was on May 27th, 2022. So it took less than 2 months for them to recognize that the Psi-Lord was Lord Vecna and is Lord Vecna. This means that the NFL is well versed in the activities of the Psi-Lord, and his position as the Septimus, the King Vampire, Lord Vecna, and the leading expert in Western expert in Soviet psychic warfare. And remember that Netflix is run by the CIA, and it was Netflix that released Stranger Things to wage war on the Psi-Lord, which was a shambolic debacle. And remember that the share price of Netflix then crashed after the release of Stranger Things, and consequently the subscriptions went up. So there was very visible physical and financial suffering to Netflix and its customers. So therefore, the NFL has been paying attention, and they've decided to release a press release to acknowledge that the Psi-Lord is indeed all-powerful, but they do it in a covert way. They just don't spread it in a full-page advertisement. They embed it in some of their regular programming, and this program was Good Morning Football. And this presentation was led by Kyle Brant, who's a host on the Good Morning Football program. So you can follow along with this segment, which is Kyle doing his presentation. He posted it on his Twitter page, and I'll post the link in the description and put a little link here in the video as well, so you can find it. But just go to Kyle's Twitter page and scroll down, and you'll come up with it. So in this segment is called What I Learned on My Summer Vacation, NFL Comparisons to Popular TV Characters. And so he did a whole series of various TV personalities compared to NFL personalities. And he said when he gets to this segment, which is relevant to us, which is Lord Vecna, he goes, and this one he says he did just for Peter Schrager, who's one of the co-hosts. And in this segment he states, so now I'll quote, Stranger Things may be the biggest sensation in the history of streaming, and none of us have watched it except for me. When he means his co-hosts haven't watched it, but Kyle has. So, his co-hosts aren't really expecting what's going to be coming. Vecna. Wait until you see this picture of Vecna, Peter, the co-host. This is right where you live. Vecna is a fearsome sentient being transformed by the Upside Down with telekinetic abilities, the power to manipulate the Demigorgon. Okay, he can manipulate them with his mind. Okay, you want to see who Lord Vecna is? There he is. There's your Lord Vecna. And he pops up a picture of Lord Vecna and Sean McVay. So think about this. Remember that Sean McVay is the head coach of the LA Rams. And remember the LA Rams won the Super Bowl last season when they played in their home stadium, Sophia Stadium, which cost a whopping $5.5 billion to build. But it is quite a piece of art. Anyway, Kyle continues. Sean McVay cast into the abyss at the time that was the Rams. Gradually builds up an army to do his absolute bidding. In his first few attempts, he was thwarted. But he was finally able to take Kyle Shanahan, that's the head coach of the 49ers, and break his bones like Vecna does those he kills. When Vecna breaks the arms and the legs of his victims and throws them in the ceiling or whatever. By breaking Shanahan's bones figuratively, he was able to open the gateway for him to unleash hell on the world. And he did this on his own turf, in the Upside Down in Los Angeles. The Super Bowl, being in LA, was kind of the equivalent of the Upside Down being in Hawkins, and coming one together. The people at home are getting this. The people at the table are checking their phones. But the people at home are getting this. It's McVecna. That's what it is. When he goes home, I don't know what he's doing with Veronica, but when he gets in, he's got all these wires that hold him up and give him football knowledge and give him the plays to remember. That's my guy. That's McVecna. So when you see this segment in the press and you're going, what the hell is going on? Why are they broadcasting this message? But you see, it was a verbal press release ritual expressing that they know that Lord Vecna, the Psi-Lord, is controlling the NFL. They know that he was manipulating and possessing through Rykov artificial reincarnation, which comes from, you got it, Soviet psychic warfare technology developed in the 1960s and 70s in the Cold War, all the dream of Yurandropov, but that Tim Tony Stark Rifat's using Rykov artificial reincarnation techniques to get in the heads of the head coaches, in this case Sean McVay, to produce the plays that create results. but also he'll be in the head of the Cincinnati's head coach, making sure that he screws up and makes the wrong plays. So you can see how you control both sides of the equation with Rykov artificial reincarnation. And that makes our champion, Tim Tony Stark Rifat, Lord Vecna, and it's been recognized now by the NFL. You might go, oh, that was just a few minutes, but you only need a few minutes to make these statements. That's how it works. So, we'll see. Now things are getting interesting. And remember, how many times did Kyle say, the people at home know what are going on, even though the people at table are completely clueless and aren't in the link. So we know that Kyle's got someone who's told him that this needs to be done for occult reasons. So you can see that even while Tim is lazy around in Vietnam and having his Vietnam beers, he's still able to fuck around with the franchise through rulesport.com. And just because he finds it very, very fun. So the NFL calls him the Lord Vecna, and the NFL billionaire owners are part of the establishment, and some of those billionaires are actually part of the elite, and they know that Psi-Lord is doing this to thwart them and annoy them and cost them money, and so they decided to pay a tribute to him through this presentation on the Good Morning Football show. Now, remember, the NFL's business isn't really sports business. The NFL business is an entertainment business. So they're based in Hollywood at the LA Rams. They know everyone in Hollywood. The NFL does, particularly the NFL board, because it's all about broadcasting rights and advertising. The NFL for the entertainment of the masses. And since they know everyone in the NFL, they're going to know very clearly about the CIA and Netflix debacle around releasing Stranger Things Series 4 and their creation of Lord Vecna and opening up of Universe B to the Upside Down world. And they know that the person in control of all of this is Lord Vecna, who is Tim Tony Stark Rifat, the Psi-Lord. And hence their expose to the head coach, the number one coach of the season, Sean McVay as Lord Vecna, aka the Psi-Lord. Very simple when it's spelled out. And that's how these things work. So you can see that NFL season is going to start in September, and it's going to be a lot of fun for Lord Vecna, Tim Tony Stark Rifat. And we have rulesport.com available for you, the punter, if you want to get involved in controlling the NFL, controlling Premier League, controlling global professional sports. We can use the techniques of Soviet psychic warfare to do so, and we coordinate all of this through rulesport.com for the amusement of the Psi-Lord, for the amusement of Lord Vecna, the Lord of Sport. I'm St. Nicholas. Get in touch at rulesport.com and enjoy your day.